Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. All right. As you guys have been following, I've been working on some Lego builds to submit to Lego Ideas and getting a lot of traction. I had a back and forth with people at Legos, and they helped me with how big it should be and how to photograph it and all that. And I'm hoping to get my idea out there, if nothing else, just to get feedback. Right, even if I never actually get it on store shelves, getting feedback is not bad either because I work with other art, and it can help me connect with other people as other artists as well. But let's pray again because this past month has been really tricky for me. I recorded a video this morning about how I've been running into a lot of not necessarily bad things, but things that require me to be strong, and it's just really tricky. Right now today as I record this, what's the weather right now? I don't even want to look at it. It's comfortable. Let's just put it that way. 81 degrees. But how high is it going to get tonight? We got a high of 91 degrees. So, uh, here in Phoenix, so see, I sometimes tutor AP chemistry, and we sometimes on periodic tables they have different colors to show if the elements are solid, liquid, or gas at room temperature, right? But I always have to point out that in the Phoenix summertime, there's actually three other metals on there that are liquid, right? So here in Phoenix, we have four liquid metals. Where you live, you probably only have one, right? Or at best two, right? But we have four here in Phoenix, and that's been really tricky for me. And it's really tricky because last summer I was stuck here with four liquid metals, and I was all alone. And I don't mean all alone in the sense of not having a romantic partner. I mean all alone in the sense that I have one income, one set of hands to prepare all my meals, and all that, right? And every time something went wrong, I can't just call off work. I actually need the money, and I can't take time off from cooking my own meals. I can't afford to just order delivery every meal, right? And that was so tricky for me. I vowed to never do that again. And so at the turn of the year, my big New Year's resolutions, two of them, find the right life partner and some passive income, right? Those were the big ones. And unfortunately, trying to do those two has been destroying me. No sleep, and yeah, this hypothetical Lego project might be out there someday. But today, I'm going to lose my job because I'm not sleeping right. That's the trickiness of it all, right? Same thing with the dating situation, right? Who knows if the girl is the right one? What I do know is that hanging around her and not sleeping and having all this stress is probably going to cost me my job, right? And so you get the idea. A lot of trickiness in it, right? And I don't know the way out. The only solution I could think of is if the right girl just falls out of the sky. Yeah, I wake up and she's right there on my bed. Right? That's the only thing that could solve my problems. I've been praying hard for that. Or I wake up and I look underneath my bed and I find the entire world supply of gold or platinum or even bismuth, right? That's the only thing that could solve my dilemma right there, right? And if I wake up tomorrow and the entire world supply of bismuth were underneath my bed, I probably never date again. By the way, because why would I? I can order stuff next time I get COVID. I could call off work. I can order stuff. Now, would I quit my job outright? Probably not, because I still need the connections. Would I stop working on the Lego ideas? Probably not, but I would slow down on it considerably, probably, right? And so I want you guys to pray. Uh, but I'm gonna work on another Lego build soon, and I can't decide which one is best. So I thought I would make it into a poll. I jotted down a few things that I thought about. Let me see. I can't even remember because I've been thinking about this for so long. So Japan is planning to build the Sky City of the entire city, or maybe even the entire country of Japan, living in 1,000 store apartment of something where everything is in there, right? Now imagine you got COVID during a heat wave. Although I don't know if there would be a concept of a heat wave if you're living halfway into space. There's probably no such thing as a heat wave. But imagine you got COVID during a heat wave and everybody was bunched together. You might not feel so alone anymore, right? So I might build a Lego build of that. I thought about the cathedral in Moscow, but that one's a little bit iffy. Lego does say they don't like religious material, so maybe not that. Uh, I thought about. I love Jupiter. I always try to view Jupiter when it's near the conjunction or near opposition, and when it's in conjunction with other planets. So I might consider a build 3-dimensional of Jupiter with its spots. There's a vortex at the north and south pole, and maybe even its moons, and maybe some of the spacecraft that have been to Jupiter. Right? How many spacecraft have been to Jupiter? At Jupiter, we had Galileo and now Juno, but we had a lot of flybys as well. Right? We had Cassini-Huygens, we had the Voyagers, and the Pioneers, and I think I'm missing a few more. But I might do a build of that. And so you guys saw that I built the Palace of Culture and Science. I kind of dedicated that to Mary Curry because I made it with 1898 pieces, and sounds like they're very excited about it. So I'm excited too. But continuing with the theme of Mary Curry, I'm going to put together a bust, 3-dimensional, of Mary Curry. So I'm going to be looking for some photos of Mary Curry, see if I can get the characteristics right, and build a 3-dimensional bust of that. I think that's going to be really tricky. Another thing I could do, because I can't do this in real life, I could maybe do a simulation of what the crystal structure of polonium would look like. See, it's too bad polonium were radioactive, right? If it were not, I suspect you could make crystals out of it because it has a relatively low melting point, 250 degrees Celsius. The crystal structure is entirely cubic, right? Unlike bismuth, which is rhombic, polonium is actually cubic. And when molten, polonium actually shrinks. It expands when it freezes, and by a good amount too. I think it was like 10, 12% compared to only 3% for bismuth. Part of the reason why when that Russian spy, Alexander Litvinenko, was assassinated, why the hotel they were involved in got badly contaminated is two reasons, actually. Number one, polonium is very volatile. So if you ingest it and you breathe it out, right, it spreads all across surfaces. And the other problem is that because it has a low melting point and it's radioactive, it literally melts itself. And then when it refreezes, it literally crystallizes. So now you got crystals. Imagine, just look at how disgusting in terms of the dust it was when I was making bismuth crystals. Now imagine that dust were poisonous, right? That's probably the best way to visualize it. But if polonium weren't radioactive, it's kind of debatable whether or not it would be chemically toxic, right? I would suspect not really. And the reason for that is that think about how badly the hotel got contaminated, right? It was literally being excreted constantly, right? So it would be probably less toxic than lead, I would say. Maybe more toxic than bismuth because it does stay in the body a little bit longer, but probably safe enough to work with. But obviously, we can't do that. So I'll maybe make a Lego build of what it might look like, just based on computer simulations. All right, those are some ideas that I'm thinking of in the near future. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.